And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? We have just started the reveal season and it's about to end.
Finally here and almost over. I can't wait.
uh, I guess technically reveal season is over for the public reveals because all we have left is the reveal stream, which is going to be tomorrow as of today, but it's going to be today if you're listening on the download. So that's
Wait,
usually
what?
happens
Oh,
around 1 p.m.
it's so confusing.
I
I
know.
hate time travel, okay?
Yeah, yeah. So it's I don't know, man. Uh, Before we get into our weeks, but uh, this is a fast like fire hose of
It
reveals,
is, yeah.
and it's I mean it didn't start till Tuesday, and all the cards being revealed before the reveal stream finished dropping Saturday, and I'm just we're gonna go into all the cards that have been revealed up to now. So if you want a hot take on that, we're not doing a play portion this week. That's what we're going to do in the second half. But I'm a little like overwhelmed. It's like I haven't had time to even process most of these cards and to even like theory craft how they're going to be
No,
used. Not
hey, I can tell you straight up, these have come out so fast this week that between working my main job and my secondary job, I'm going to be seeing a lot of these cards for the first time as
wow.
we're going through doing this review, this reveal stream. So, like, I don't know what a lot of these cards are. I've not had time to read them or theory craft on them up to this point. So you're going to be getting a honest reaction from me seeing these cards for the first time.
Yeah, and for me, we'll kind of get into my week on top of my reaction to this is so this week I pushed for Legend because I wanted to get Legend out of the way, and I got it. I actually got it yesterday. But
Congrats.
other the reason it took me all the way through the week to get Legend because every day this week I have been diligently been making the slideshow for the show, and I have been updating the spreadsheet for the Coin Concede Hero Power rating sheet. So we are going to do that again. We'll give more information once we have all the cards out. Ridiculous Hat will fine tune the database. I'm just doing the image part of it right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got all the images in there. And then he'll make an announcement and let me know that we can make an announcement on Twitter. So pay attention to our Twitter at HeroPower_cast for that. But a lot of these cards, I've literally seen them from reading them to put them in the spreadsheets and on the slideshow, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't really like delved into them. Not to mention, um, we have a rotation, which always makes predicting decks really difficult because we don't remember what's going out, what's staying in, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And we have a core set revamp, so we can't even go, okay, how are these cards going to work with basic and classic set? Because now the basic and
Man,
classic
classic's
set
changing. Yeah.
is changing. So I, next, I can't believe I'm saying this. Next Tuesday, the 30th, is gonna be just crazy go nuts land, and I know they're gonna have theory crafting and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about. I think we talked about that last week that they're gonna be doing a theory crafting as part of the rollout schedule. But I know there's a big debate about whether theory crafting is good for the community or not,
Mm-hmm.
and I still stand by I like them because they give me kind of a, a base to build on
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not a from the scratch builder, and also they kind of give me an idea of what cards are potentially memeable and which ones are potentially just going to be good uh, or both.
Right.
So
Right.
I will be watching Regis Kilbin. Of course, I will also be watching Regis Kilbin on Monday because he is going to be. I actually forgot to put this in show notes, but he is going to be doing uh, the Forged in the Barrens card reveal stream at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, with Liv Breeden and Chris Sierra. So we're going to see a new face in the card reveals,
Okay.
and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Liv Breeden's. I got to see Liv Breeden announce uh, uh, Rossicon's Rumble live at BlizzCon. She has a level of energy that I just can't properly describe. And the fact that she's announcing a Barrens focused with orcs and trolls,
Mm-hmm.
she has this very orc mentality to her voice. I can't wait to listen to her talk about the cards, because
Yeah.
she has a passion about this game, and specifically a passion about the Horde and all those kind of characters that embody the Horde, that I think she's going to make this live stream really fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, I've had a really good week as far as actually getting to play some Hearthstone this week. I finally, I can't express this enough. As a casual player, this rewards track has been so beneficial to me. I am going to finish. Yeah. I am going to finish this 3.5, 4 month period from the release of the last set to the release of this set at just over 10,000 gold. That is the most gold I have ever earned in between expansions since I have been playing this game since October of 2013. I hit rewards track level 155 this week, and I am stoked about it as a casual player.
So as a casual player, you hit level 155, and you still feel comfortable with the amount of gold you received?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Like I said, prior to this rewards track, I, on average, earned 5,000 to 6,000 gold between expansions. And I'm not playing any more than what I was playing then. I would earn 5,000 to 6,000. Now I'm earning over 10,000 gold. So I'm going to have, that's an additional 40 packs I can buy with gold that I wouldn't have been able to previously. Now, granted, I have been playing a lot of duels, and on average, I do 3 to 7, 8 wins in a duel, and so I get a good portion of my gold back.
Okay, so you're not necessarily an unlimited player of
not
duels.
by any means.
You can't go forever,
right?
But you're doing decent. So I'm sitting at 8,870 gold, and that's usually I'm about 5,500 because I spend gold on duels and a few other things. And then I am at rewards track 218, and one of my big concerns was would I cap out the rewards track early and then have a bunch of wasted energy? And I'm a hardcore player. I put probably about 30 hours in a week. It's been less this cycle because of my health issues and my diet, my energy levels, but I'm probably still at least doing 25 hours a week. You know, what is my low number is normally somebody's high number. So the fact that I didn't cap out, and I haven't heard of a lot of people other than a couple content creators that play 8-10 hours a day.
I know a couple innkeepers who have capped out.
Yeah, but those are outliers. If that's less than 1% of the player base, that I suspect it is,
I think it'll be really interesting after this is done to get numbers on the percentages of players who finished where on the rewards track.
Yeah, because the reason I want to see those numbers is we had a lot of people naysaying the rewards track before it even came out.
Right.
And once it came out, they were naysaying based off personal math they figured out. And we kept being told by Dean and Celestalon and the likes like that it looks worse than they believe in testing and through their calculations that it actually is. And they made some changes, but honestly, I don't think these changes made it good. I think they were already good, and it made the changes made it better. And a lot of the changes didn't really change the numbers; it just changed how the numbers came out.
Right.
They shortened how much XP and they lowered the rewards, but you're getting rewards more often. Instead of chunks of 150, you're getting chunks of 50, and I like it. And that leads us into our first point of news. They have put out a blog with the rewards track refresh and rewards coming with the rewards track, including diamond cards.
Yes. Now, these diamond cards look incredible. They have done a fantastic job of designing these cards. In fact, one of my son's favorite characters in all of Warcraft is Samuro.
Samuro, yeah, he's one of my favorite. I played him in Heroes of Storm.
Yeah, and I showed him the Samuro Diamond animations, and he was just like, because he plays Hearthstone occasionally. He's not an avid Hearthstone player, but he was just like, wow, that's really cool. I kind of want that.
and there's a lot in this blog, and we'll kind of touch base on a little bit of it. But let's just go ahead and jump to the diamond cards. You're gonna have the opportunity of getting 2 different diamond legendary cards. Diamond is not going to be like a new denoter like gold that you can craft them, or they come in packs. They're specifically rewarded through the rewards track. Now, the Diamond Blade Master Samuro is instantly obtainable by purchasing the Forged in the Barrens Tavern Pass and claiming the card on the rewards track. So when you purchase it, you will get Golden Blade Master Samuro. Now, what's great about these?
My money.
Yes, that's what I say. I understand. A lot of people are upset that they're getting these by money, but this is art assets that they spend money on, and I'm fine with it. It's just cosmetic. It doesn't keep you from playing the card. It's just cosmetic. And these animations, they literally pop out of the card, and I mean that literally. The border is there, and Samuro has the flag and his sword over his shoulder, a flag on his back, sword over his shoulder, and he is popping out of the frame and moving more than just an animated card normally does. And they have hit it out of the park with this art.
Yeah.
And I love them. The second one is going to be Diamond Brucon. Both of these cards are coming in a new set. And it's obtained by completing the Forged in the Barrens Legendary Collector 5 of 5 achievement. So once you collect all legendary cards from Forged in the Barrens, you will get a Diamond Brucon. They did confirm via Twitter that at least with the Blade Master Samuro, it does fall under the legendary protection. So if you do buy the pass, if you're going to buy the pass on day 1, before you can open your packs, then I would claim Blade Master Samuro first and then open your packs, because then you'll make sure you don't open Samuro in your packs.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Brucon doesn't really fall into that because you have to collect all the legendaries, which includes Brucon. So that's kind of a bummer, but then you can disenchant the Brucon.
Yeah.
But that's the gold cards. I've seen a lot of people outcry that they love this cosmetic style. I was wondering if they were going to be able to find other things to do. Now I want a diamond hero portrait. I literally want. Well, I don't know if that would be too intensive on the mobile client, having that animation throughout the entire game instead of just when a card's in play. But they got to figure it out because I want it. I want it really bad.
Well, yeah, and the other stuff they're doing with this rewards track refresh. So let's talk about the rewards track refresh itself, because the rewards track that we have now goes level 1 to level 50 with rewards, and then you go from 51 to 350, earning 50 gold every level. So this new track, you're actually going to earn rewards all the way from level 1 to level 100.
Yeah.
And then from 101 to 400, it's going to be
Yeah.
50 gold.
Now, a lot of people kind of under the mind that this is more, and it is a little bit more. I think they've tuned the numbers so you're getting a little bit more rewards than last time in total. But they basically truncated a lot of the XP, so you're getting levels faster. So it just feels better because
Yeah.
if you play 2 or 3 games a day, you will likely get at least like 50 golds worth of rewards a day, and that is a feels good, because when you compare the gold from the Dark Moon Fair track to Barrens, it's exactly the same, 5,650. And then the card pack rewards are only going up by 1. But then this is where we start seeing some extra rewards in there. The tavern tickets go from 2 to 3. A non-disenchantable legendary is going to be rewarded, where it wasn't in the previous pass. You only got a disenchantable legendary. I think you got 2 of them. You'll get a total of 14 golden cards that are non-disenchantable, where in Dark Moon Fair you didn't get any. Then you'll still get 2 disenchantable legendaries, 1 disenchantable epic, then you get the card back and the hero skin. So the rewards track has been upgraded significantly for both rewards and just kind of quality of life changes, where the XP is shorter and the gold's less, but you're going to get it more frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, overall the gold's the same, but per reward your gold is less, is what I mean. Not less overall. It's exactly the same. So it's really just fine-tuning it to make it feel good, because ultimately when we got to the end, we're getting to the end of it, most players, including myself and you, it seems like, are happy with the rewards we got from the rewards track. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy with, like I said, I've earned more gold in this last 4 months than I have had at any other point between expansions since this game's inception. Not to mention,
Good.
I got the specialty coin. I got to choose a really cool animated character skin. I took, if you guys haven't heard, I took the Warlock skin, the Gul'dan skin. I love that skin. And just all the additional packs that I earned along the rewards track helped me to complete the entire Dark Moon Fair set.
So speaking of the coins, they are adding some new cosmetic coins for this track.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be 2, just like last time. One for completing the first 90 levels of the rewards track, which is kind of just a new themed coin for that set. And then you get a special Horde coin for collecting 135 unique Forged in the Barrens cards. Now, the set is 135, so that's, if you get all of them from the set, you'll get it. But if you're a little bit short, it also includes the mini set when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid if you're like, hey, I don't want to craft these last 2 legendaries because they're not good and I'm going to be short. Once you get the mini set when it comes out, it'll finish up. And then they are adding a 3rd card coin, and I'm excited for this one. They've also added a Bigglesworth coin for collecting one of every card from Scholomance Academy. Collect all 135 cards from Scholomance Academy, and this coin will be yours. And I've done that already.
I'm missing a few cards from Scholomance. I'm gonna have to go craft a few cards or pick up some additional Scholomance packs.
I like this because it makes people want to utilize their dust, and there's not a lot of reason once a set's passed and maybe the card's not too useful to try to craft the entire set. And this gives us reason if you're interested in those cosmetics.
Right.
Now, I haven't really done much with my coin. It's one of the ones I forget we have cosmetic choices for. I changed my card back and I changed my portrait fairly frequently, but I always forget about the coin. So it's nice that that I'm probably gonna change it to Bigglesworth, because Bigglesworth is a character that I really like in the World of Warcraft lore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's other than that, we have the Forged in the Barrens Tavern Pass portraits. There are a, a bunch of beautiful portraits in here. If you want to see all the details and all of the kind of fine print on this, we'll have the blog link in our show notes.
Yep.
But overall, with these changes, how do you feel about the new pass?
I'm excited. I am. I've looked at it. I'm really excited about the new rewards track. I'm probably more excited about Hearthstone now than I was even when they announced the rewards track for Dark Moon Fair.
Oh, and wow.
Now that we've been through one rewards track, this just really ramps up my level of excitement for the game, and I can't wait. They've not announced, I guess the 30th is when this rewards track is going to start.
Yes, the 30th is, I think it should be the 30th. The patch goes out the 23rd, but the rewards track itself, so if you need some more levels, you have until the 30th.
That's what I was wondering. How long we had, so the 29th will be the last full day on this current rewards track, and then we'll start the new rewards track on the 30th. So I can't wait. I was just sitting here looking at the what's the word? This spreadsheet that they have in the blog where it shows the amount of XP needed to level, and it's like I'm already sitting here going, okay, so I'll complete one quest at about 900 experience. That'll take me from level 1 to 7 immediately.
You're already mapping out your first few days of the rewards track.
Yeah, seeing where I'm gonna get and what all I'm gonna earn in those first few quests. So
and one more thing before we get to the next news part is we already talked about the patch that's coming on the 23rd, which will basically include everything going in early and that kind of stuff. They did say that we do know from, we talked about it last week, that the balance changes that are going to happen, which haven't been announced yet, and all of the nerf reversions are going to hit on the 23rd, which is why I wanted to get Legend now before that craziness happens. So you're going to have this crazy off the wall meta that's only going to last for a week. And I'm not going to delve too much into that because we talked about it last week. But one new thing that they said is going to be included, which they said before wasn't, and we found out was just a miscommunication on the dev team, is the classic format is going to be available to play on the 23rd.
Okay.
Which previously Dean Ayala said, I think it was Dean, said that it was not going to be, I think it was in his AMA, said it won't be out till the 30th, but later found out that he was misinformed.
Okay. Awesome.
So his information was wrong. So I was really going to take a week off of Hearthstone, just maybe get my dailies done. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to play around with that crazy temporary format we're going to have. But now that I know Classic's going to be here, that's probably what I do next week is play Classic, because I'm really eager to see how this is going to go. And that, now that I think about it, the set comes out on the 30th, doesn't it?
Yes.
Then the ladder resets on the 1st. This is about as close to a brand new set meta being on a ladder reset we've ever had.
Yes, it is.
Usually we'd have like a week and then it resets, or we have a week of the old rotation and then the new set comes out. So a lot of people are grinding trying to get Legend. Most people are going to be really experimenting with the new set when the ladder resets, and I wish they would time that with the ladder resets better, even if they have to move the day of the ladder resets, not on the 1st of the month, but maybe when a patch goes live.
Yeah.
or pushes the content out. I don't know. I I hate that whole week or week and a half grind to try to get legend or whatever before the meta changes. But I don't know.
All right.
But speaking of the Nerf reversions, there is a tweet from Alec Dawson. One last piece of core set info before card reveals start tomorrow. And this is obviously earlier in the week.
Yeah.
We will be moving Stone Tusk Boar and Bluegill Warrior to Wild. They will go back to the original stat lines with Charge. 2 new cards will replace Boar and Bluegill in core, a Beast and a Murloc with Rush. So those same where Stone Tusk Boar was going to be turned into a 1-mana 2/1 with Rush, and Bluegill Warrior is going to be a 2-mana 3/1 with Rush. They're basically going to make those new cards so that Boar and Bluegill can stay in Wild unchanged, because there were quite a few tier 2 and 3 decks. They're not even like top tier decks that utilize that as a combo and win condition. And you really don't want to weaken a deck that's already in the tier 2, tier 3 slot in the meta anyways, or abolish it entirely. So I'm glad of this change. What do you think about it? I don't know. You don't play a lot of Wild, but
I mean, I play a little. I don't play very high on the Wild ladder.
Yeah.
I'm usually somewhere around gold when I play, but I think this is fine. Yes, we are going to probably see some turn 5 OTKs from hand with Stone Tusk Boar, or maybe another OTK Murloc type build, but it adds to the already evolving Wild play. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and it may be that they do this and then it turns out to be a bad idea and they revert it. We don't know. It's they have to try it to see how it works, but I'm fine with it.
so the one thing that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is basically the Wild format is getting one additional Beast and Murloc with Rush in the pool. I don't think with Beast it's going to be as big of a deal, but if you're using the Rexar Death Knight hero card, that's a 1-mana 2/1 that's with Rush that's going to be in the build pool, or should be in the build pool. And then secondly, whenever you have something that summons random Murlocs, now you have a 3/1 with Rush random Murloc that's going to be in that pool that's not from other sets or anything. I don't know how much that's going to be impactful, if that's going to lower the value of the pools or maybe even raise the power of the pools. I do like that this rotation is really impacting both Wild and Standard, and this change also includes that. So I'm happy with it. Now, we do know that the Murloc is obviously still a Murloc, and the Beast is going to be of an avian variety. We don't know if it's a tall strider or what. They just said it's going to be an avian Beast, which that's mainly just flavor, but that'll be an interesting addition to the already crazy changes that we're going to have to deal with on the 30th.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is a Temporous Shift. This is an illusion. Turn times doubly so. Build a standard deck, and each turn, except the first turn this time, you'll get an extra turn. I can tell you, I read the description, and I was like, each player takes an extra turn? Nah, I'm going to pass this week.
So I didn't do the Tavern Brawl last week, and I didn't do this one. And I think I know why now. The reward is still a classic pack, and the classic pack before, I didn't need the classic cards, but I could at least get golden classic cards,
Yeah.
which were, in my mind, evergreen. So any gold that I got out of the classic, I'm going to have to be able to play with forever. And that's not the case anymore. So my drive to do these to get the reward for the pack just isn't there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. Now, I do know that with the new set, I think it's on the, I'm not sure if it's going to be the 30th or if it's going to be on the 23rd when the patch hits. All Tavern Brawls are going to reward the newest set. So I assume it's going to be on the 30th since it's going to be the newest set. And you won't be able to open those packs till 30th anyways.
Right.
So I suspect that once the Tavern Brawl changes to rewarding the newest set packs, I'll probably want to do it more. And right now, I think I'm just going to pass on Tavern Brawls until the new set comes out.
All right. So that does it for the news this week.
Yeah.
So, as Zerotio mentioned at the top of the show, we are not going to do a play portion this week because...
Or next week.
Yeah, because we are into reveal season, and it's time to talk about some of these new Forged in the Barrens cards that...
Before we get to these, we do have quite a few this week. Next week's going to be probably a significantly larger show because a large majority of the cards revealed are going to happen on the reveal stream, which is going to happen if you're listening on the download today for us tomorrow, which is going to be Monday the 22nd. So expect a little longer show next week. And then the following week, we're going to start with getting right into playing decks. So if you see anything from theory crafting or you theory craft yourself and come up with any deck ideas, please send those to heropowerpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet deck list to us at heropower_cast on Twitter. And of course, if you're part of our Patreon Discord that you can be part of over at patreon.com/heropower for as little as $1 a month, you can just DM those or put them in our decks channel, and we tend to pull decks out of there whenever we're really looking for ideas for the show. Make sure to tag us if you want us specifically to put it in our pool for decks for the show. We will definitely consider those.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's jump right into this. We have 32 slides of cards. Well, 31 slides because the intro slide doesn't count. But let's jump right into
counts.
This.
I put great work on it.
So, first up, we're going to start with Demon Hunter Legendaries. So, first up, we have Kurtrus Ashfallen. He's a 4-mana, 3/4 legendary, battle cry, attack the left and right most enemy minions, outcast, immune this turn. So this is a 3/4 minion that attacks left, attacks right, but if he was played outcast, he's immune to taking damage.
Yes, now we don't know for sure, but I'm assuming if he dies after the first attack, he won't make the second attack because that's kind of how these type of things work.
I would assume that is how that would work.
Deathwing works that way. Obviously, I like this because it makes your opponent decide on positioning. We've had these in past sets, but we haven't had them recently.
Right.
Very impactful. This card reminds me a lot of Restless Mummy from Warrior, which is the 4-mana, what is it, a 3/1?
3/2?
No, it's a 3/2. I think it's a 3/2.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
It has,
with Rush.
Yeah.
And Reborn. So it comes back a second time to attack a second time. The difference is you can't choose where to attack, unfortunately. Now, if this has immune from being outcasted, it will definitely attack twice.
And live.
And live, and if given Rush, will be able to attack again. So if you played this and then played a Broom afterwards, you could then attack again with it because it hasn't actually attacked if the mechanic works like other things. So, so that's kind of neat that there is some agency with that. I do feel a little bad, mainly because we're recording this on Sunday, and I came up when I first saw this card. The first thing I thought of was Kurt Russell, and Garrett and Ridiculous Hat stole the joke from me on the episode of Angry Chicken this week. So they get credit for that one. Good on you guys. But yes, I saw this and I was like, Kurt Russell. This card is now Kurt Russell from now on.
All right. Moving on, we have Death Speaker Blackthorn. He's a 7 mana, 3/6 legendary. Battle Cry. Summon 3 Death Rattle minions that cost 5 or less from your deck. So, what do Demon Hunters have exceptional in the Death Rattle category?
I don't know of a lot of exceptional death rattles that aren't coming in this set. Obviously, neutral death rattles are things that can be used, but I don't.
Yeah.
So, Demon Hunter hasn't really been a death rattle themed class, so I haven't really focused on it. There's probably a couple that are good.
Okay.
But it's really, more importantly than it being death rattle synergy, it's a deck thinning mechanic.
Okay. All right.
So this summons 3 death rattle minions that cost 5 or less from your deck. So essentially you are drawing them and playing them for free. And because they're death rattle minions, you're not going to lose out on any battle cries unless it has both battle cry and death rattle, which is not a commonality with death rattle minions. But if you build your deck right, I know this is a 7 mana card, and it doesn't. 7 mana cards don't usually go in an aggressive strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this could be done in a very tempo driven, towards aggressive Demon Hunter that then has a turn 7 just reload, where they just dump their hands of a lot of low costed stuff, and like Zoo does, where Zoo draws cards to try to regain that at the cost of their health.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Death Speaker Blackthorn going in that deck and just literally being 4 minions flooded on the board on turn 7.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up,
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I'm not a big Demon Hunter fan, but I like it.
Okay. Next up, we have Demon Hunter Epics, and we're gonna start with a Fail spell, Sigil of Flame. It's 2 mana. At the start of your next turn, deal 3 damage to all minions. So this is a delayed damage spell.
Yeah, and how this is going to be signified or signaled to your opponent is it's going to go in the slot where secrets or quests or side quests go, and have a little marker over your portrait telling your opponent that at the start of your turn, something is going to happen. And this is not the only card of this type, and it seems to be, so far, from what we've seen in the set, that only Demon Hunter is getting cards like this, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be. But the sigil cards all work like this. And this is kind of themed like sigils from the Demon Hunter class in World of Warcraft, where it's kind of like a delayed effect, where something happens, they get a healing, or they do extra damage, or whatnot. I really like the theme of this, and it makes your opponent decide a line of play that may be suboptimal. If they're Zoo, on turn 3, they're wanting to flood the board, and normally their minions have 3 or less health that they want to do at that time. And with things like Dark Lair, they could actually regain mana and really go crazy on the board. Also, you're looking at Token Druid. Token Druid does the same thing, where they're just flooding the board on turns 2 and 3 to get ready to buff them, or they might buff them. They might set up on 2, and they're going to punish you with buff if you don't clear them. Well, you do this, and now if they buff them, they might not get up to that 3 health threshold to stay past the 3 health threshold to stay alive. So I really like that this makes your opponent make decisions that might not be the normal curve that they would
Right.
play out
Yeah,
of the
they're
hand.
gonna have to think about, okay, something's gonna happen. Do I want to risk playing this card this turn, or do I want to delay?
Yeah, and on the same note, it might actually because it's a delayed effect, it could actually help your opponent if they decide to play death rattles into this, and then get the death rattle effects at the start of your turn. That's a whole nother direction. So you have to think: is my opponent playing death rattles that will punish me? So it not only makes your opponent play in a certain way, it might actually make you play differently depending on your matchups. And I love any card that does that.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this flavor. Whether it becomes good, because you're obviously not wanting to play an aggressive strategy with this card, because if you have a bunch of minions on the board, you don't want to play this. You're going to kill your own minions too, because it's all minions. But if you're playing a more tempo driven or combo style demon hunter, or into a control style or big demon hunter, this might be what you need the first 2 or 3 turns.
Right.
It reminds me a lot of the Mines card, the 2 mana does 5 damage for warrior. It was a minefield. It
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of that card. And you usually play that so that you can get to turns 5 and 6 in warrior and really start getting to go. So whether Demon Hunter can play something like that and that deck exists, I don't know. We'll have to see, but I really like this card.
Okay. Next up, we have an epic minion, Vengeful Spirit. Outcast. It's a 4 mana 4/4 with Outcast. Draw 2 Death Rattle minions. So here we have more Death Rattle synergy. Yeah.
I think it's good. It's base stats are 4 mana 4/5, and you're sacrificing 1 body for this Outcast ability, which is a draw 2 mechanic in most cases. So it's a good card. I think it's good. I do wish it had a demon moniker or some kind of tribe. But that withstanding, it's still a good card.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Razorfin Beastmaster. It's a now we're into the Demon Hunter rare cards. So this is a 3 mana 3/3 Death Rattle. Summon a Death Rattle minion that costs 4 or less from your hand. So we've got more tempo Death Rattle synergy. You kill this, you're gonna have to deal with another one.
Yeah, and a lot of people would say with a card like this that you have to make sure you have a Death Rattle in your hand. You might not want to play this on 3 because you don't have any Death Rattles. But there's a lot that we're clearly seeing from this set, that we're seeing a lot of draw mechanics that are coming from Death Rattles, that you're specifically targeting, Death Rattles to draw tutor effects if you're a Magic the Gathering player.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have tutor effects for Death Rattles and you have something that summons Death Rattles from your hand, also if you look at the previous card, Vengeful Spirit, if you outcast that, you control this and another Death Rattle minion that Razorfin Beastmaster can bring out.
Right.
So, and it's 4 or less. So if you just build your deck with the 4 or less Death Rattles, this could summon another Razorfin Beastmaster, which then summons something else. So you could have this potentially just ongoing board that your opponent can never clear. And that's really neat, especially in a world where we're not getting a lot of silence. They've rotated a lot of silence out of the core set, and we're not seeing a lot of global silence effects or just targeted to specific classes like the next card we're going to talk about. Death Rattles may actually stick on the board.
Yeah, so the next card is a shadow spell. It's Sigil of Silence. 0 mana. At the start of your next turn, silence all enemy minions.
Yeah, I'm glad this is 0 mana. And mainly because I don't want it to be 1 mana, because then one maker could potentially get you lots and lots of these, which we saw this before with the other 1 mana silence spell that Demon Hunter had. You could not play Rattle Gores or any kind of sticky Death Rattles, because they would just play wand makers and get a bunch of silences out of the ether, out of nowhere, not in their deck. And this Sigil of Silence, you're going to need to put it in your deck, one thing, and it's not going to be easily generated, so you're not going to see 3, 4, 5 copies of it in the game.
Right.
And that I appreciate. Uh, it's sad to think that a powerful effect like this is better at 0 mana than at 1 mana, but I think it is. And or better at 1 mana than 0 mana,
Yeah.
but it would
Yeah.
be.
Right.
At 0 mana, I think this is good. And again, I like these sigils. There's supposedly going to be 4 total sigils. I think it's 4. Might be just 3.
Okay.
I can't remember my Demon Hunters from World of Warcraft. So we haven't seen all the sigils. This is the last sigil we'll see this week.
Okay.
But all of these have this delayed effect that make your opponent decide what they're going to do, and I like that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Druid legendaries. First up, we have Guff Rune Totem. That's Guff Rune Totem. It's a 3 mana 2/4. After you cast a nature spell, give another friendly minion +2/+2.
If this isn't a token strategy, I don't know what is.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm loving this card. I don't know if token druid's going to be playable. It's playable now, but it's not very good. I was loving seeing it on the ladder right now because I was farming them up to legend. But if token strategies are viable, this is going to be almost an include. I know a lot of the token strategies are going very spell heavy, if not completely spell based. So they're going to have to change how they build their decks. But I think this card makes it worth including straight minions in your deck.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Plague Maw the Rotting. So this is a 4 mana 3/4 minion. After a friendly minion with taunt dies, summon a new copy of it without taunt.
So ever realize that a card that was printed from one set was waiting on another card, and you knew that specific card popped in your mind when you read a card? What card do you think this is meant for? The minute I saw this card, I thought of one card and one card only.
The 7/7 elemental with taunt?
No, Greybow.
Oh, Greybow. Okay.
Because Greybow has a death rattle. He's a taunt. When he dies, he puts a death rattle on another minion to summon another Greybow.
Gotcha.
So because this doesn't have taunt, if you play this and play Greybow, they have to clear the Greybow, which is going to put the death rattle on Plague Maw Rotting. And then they're also going to get another Greybow. So if they clear clear Plague Maw of the Rotting, then you're going to get another Greybow, and you're going to have the other Greybow. It's going to protect that Greybow. But if they clear the other Greybow, then it's going to put the other death rattle on Plague Maw again, so it'll summon 2. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if this card was not meant for Greybow, and I like that they're on 2 different years, so that you're not going to have 2 full years of this possible crazy combo. Yeah. We saw this with Hadronox, right?
Right.
Hadronox
I remember all the Hadronox craziness. Yeah.
Was a horrible card, wasn't going to be played, and then the next year rolled around. The first set put out, I can't remember which death rattles it was. I think it put out Witching Hour, and then Witching Hour made Hadronox all of a sudden just be able to go crazy, and there was death rattles that went with it that were perfect to resummon, and so we saw this before. Funny enough, in Druid, so that's one of my week 1 decks I want to try out. If I can get this legendary along with my Greybow, I don't know what else I'll put in the deck, but it's pretty low curve mana for the most part. Greybow will probably be the most expensive, but yeah, I'm excited.
All right.
Good card.
Next up, we have Druid rare cards. So first up is Living Seed. This is a nature spell that starts out at rank 1. So obviously, if you remember from us talking about this in past shows, it'll start out at rank 1. When you hit 5 mana, it'll go to rank 2. When you hit 10 mana, it'll go to rank 3. It's a 2 mana spell. Draw a beast. Reduce its cost by 1.
Yes, and I realized I had forgotten to put a lot of the
Rank 2, rank 3.
yeah, to say what they do. So the rank 2 version reduces the cost by 2, and the rank 3 reduces the cost by 3.
Okay.
So you still only draw a beast. And I don't know of any beast combos that reducing the cost will allow you to do any kind of shenanigans. But it might allow you to curve out, if it's a taunt beast, maybe be able to put it alongside Plague Maul or something like that, where normally you couldn't be able to do it because it would be more than 10 mana.
Yeah.
So it seems good. They're really pushing the beast aspect again. I do like that they're not just pushing Beast Druid, they're also pushing a taunt style Druid alongside of it this set. So I think of the two archetypes, taunt wins.
Yeah, but it's also important to note that this is a relatively low-cost nature spell that works with Guff Rune Totem to buff your tokens or whatever.
It does, and if there's any low-cost beasts, because like I said, if maybe there's a beast that's only 1 or 2 mana, and you really don't care if it gets reduced by 3 because it's going to be free no matter what, you really want to play this on 2 or even on 5. So you don't have to play this on 10.
Right.
I mean, that's one thing. A lot of people are like, well, if you got to wait till turn 10. No, you don't have to wait till turn 10. It just gets better.
Right.
But if it being that good on turn 10 isn't important to you, it's just as good on turn 2 or 5.
Yeah.
You might as well just put this in your deck. So maybe in a token strategy to reduce the cost. Unfortunately, Gibberling's not a beast. I originally thought it would be or should be, and now this may be why it's not. But if Gibberling was a beast, this card would be amazing. Yeah. But it's not, unfortunately.
Right. Next up, we have another Druid rare nature spell, Mark of the Spike Shell. It's a 2 mana nature spell. Give a minion +2/+2. If it has taunt, add a copy of it to your hand.
Yeah, so it's good to know it doesn't have to be a taunt minion. It just has to have taunt. So if you play another spell on the minion to give it taunt, maybe +2/+2, Mark of the Wild, and then you play this, it will be considered as having taunt because it does. And then you'll get a copy of that minion into your hand. So you could do shenanigans with Gibberling again. Gibberling, Mark of the Wild, which gives you another Gibberling, and then you can Mark of the Spike Shell onto the original Gibberling, and then another Gibberling is going to come out, and then you're going to get Gibberling in your hand. Gibberlings, I love that card.
Yeah, I immediately thought of Greybow when you started talking about Greybow and taunt shenanigans.
Greybow would be obviously the best card to put this on would be Greybow, because then you get another Greybow in your hand. Yeah. But anywhere way I can abuse Gibberlings, I'm going to. I literally have subscribed to Regis Kilbin's stream for over 3 years now, and the main reason I continue to do that is he has a Gibberer as an emote, and I love it.
All right, next up we have another rare Druid minion, the Razormane Battle Guard. It's a 2 mana 2/3. The first taunt minion you play each turn costs 2 less. Noticing a trend here.
Yeah, and we've seen this type of thing before where, was it a Maze card? The first minion you play each turn costs 1 less, and it just didn't work well. The difference is this: the first taunt minion you play each turn. So the problem with that other card was you would play it and you didn't get the benefit that turn because that minion was the first minion you played. However, this doesn't have taunt. So you can play this and then immediately play a taunt minion for 1 less.
2 less.
So you could play this, or for 2 less, I'm sorry. So essentially you're getting this for free.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 mana. So again, we're seeing a theme here with Druid and these taunt mechanics.
And what he means by for free is, let's say you're on turn 5 and you have a 5 mana taunt minion in your hand. You play this, then you play the 5 mana taunt minion for 3 mana. and that
So
maximizes
essentially, this is free.
your mana spend for that turn.
The biggest benefit is, we're saying it again, Greybow.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you play this, then your Greybow gets reduced by 2. You play the Greybow. Now, if the Greybow dies, its Death Rattle has a minion to go onto. Because the problem with playing Greybow for its full mana, if you don't have a minion in play and they kill it, nothing happens.
right.
This guarantees there's a minion in place for Greybow. It seems like all these taunt synergy cards were made just for Greybow Druid in mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was a fun deck to play, but the only reason people were playing Greybow Druid was because they wanted to get the achievement and they were watching Dexter streams, and Dexter was going crazy with Greybows. And I think this might make Greybow Taunt Druid a viable thing now.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Hunter Legendaries. First up, we have Barak Kodobane. He's a 5 mana, 3/5 battle cry. Draw a 1, 2, and 3 cost spell.
So Ridiculous Hat has decided the nickname for this card is Barack Kodobama. So when we draw the 3 cards, we can say thanks, Kodobama. That's from the old "Thanks Obama" meme that's been out there. So I say yes, please, for this card, because one of the biggest problems with Hunter in recent days is just no good card draw. And this is not only good card draw, it's targeted card draw. It draws you 3 cards if your deck's built right and you haven't drawn poorly. It draws you 3 cards, and you can you build your deck in a way to try to target specific spells to draw with this.
Okay.
And that means a mid-range tempo style, which I think hasn't been a real thing in Hunter in a long time, can come back. I love mid-range tempo Hunter, and I mean, Highlander Hunter's fun. Aggro Hunter obviously wins games, but I haven't really enjoyed playing Hunter in a very long time because I haven't had a good deck I like playing that was also had good numbers. And I think mid-range Hunter was the last time I've ever been able to feel that way, where I felt good playing the deck and I had good results out of it.
Okay. All right. The other Hunter Legendary in this set is Tavish Stormpike. He's a 3 mana, 2/5. After a friendly beast attacks, summon a beast from your deck that costs 1 less.
So I don't know if there is the cards in the pool with 4 sets and the core set changing the way it is to make this deck possible, but this may be something we look at when the next set or the 3rd set this year comes out. If you could build your deck of rush beasts in descending mana order so that you could literally play a rush minion, which is going to summon another rush minion, which will summon another rush minion, all the way down to 1 mana, or quite a bit, just as a way to clear your opponent's board as a good mid-range tempo style play, which also in turn thins your deck. This is also card draw if you look at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, moving on to Hunter Epics. We have 1 epic so far, Kolkar Pack Runner. This is a 2 mana, 2/3 minion. After you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 hyena with rush.
I don't know how much I know they put lock and load in the core set, so I'm guessing we're going to see
We haven't seen all the Hunter spell cards. Hunter, yeah,
a lot of low cost spells. So that's going to be interesting to see where that comes from or how that builds out.
Yeah.
We do know that the Swift Hyena is a 1 mana 1/1 rush, which is important to note. Alongside Tavish. So if you Tavish Kolkar, play a spell, it won't summon a minion from your deck unless there's a 0 cost beast that we haven't seen yet. If there's a 0 cost beast, it would summon that essentially.
Yeah.
Because 1 less than 1 is 0, obviously. So we're just gonna have to see what else the set has to know if I know people hate it when people say that. I have to see what else comes out to see if this is going to be good, but we essentially do. We have to know what kind of low cost spells we're going to be able to utilize
And
uh,
I just want to
with this
say,
card.
welcome to Zerotio's Math Hour. For those of you that did not know 0 was less than 1, you're welcome.
You're welcome. See?
All right. Next up, we have Hunter Rare Spell, Tame Beast. This starts at rank 1. It is 2 mana. Summon a 2/2 beast with Rush. And of course, it upgrades at 5 mana and 10 mana. Can you tell us what the 5 and what the rank 2 and rank 3 do?
Rank 2 summons a 4/4 beast with Rush, and the rank 3 is a 6/6 beast with Rush.
Okay.
So it goes 2, 4, 6.
Nice.
I like these rank spells. I was thinking of them kind of like spell stones, but they're actually quite a bit different and play differently. They obviously spellstones gain value throughout the game because of other actions you take, where these gain value based on just time. So you can kind of play poorly and have your spellstones not do well, or draw poorly and have your spellstones not do well. Also, drawing a spellstone late game hurts because you haven't had time to do the things you need to upgrade it. Where if you draw this on turn 10, it's just a 2 mana 6/6 with Rush. You don't have to have any craziness. You don't have to have had it in your hand for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's good tempo. And I keep saying tempo because I think Tempo Hunter is going to be the way to play.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Mage Legendaries.
Mage excites me this set, by the way.
This is very, very interesting. So, first up, we have Mordash Fire Eye. So this is a 10 mana, 10/10 minion. Battle Cry. If you have dealt 10 damage with your hero power this game, deal 10 damage to all enemies.
Yes. This is a big punch on turn 10. Could be some way to find a way to OTK with this. I don't think so in standard, but I'm curious on what Wild can do with this card, because they have a lot of hero power mechanics, and there are going to be some here in standard still. We saw one of the mage minions in core set change your hero power, or has your hero power do an additional damage while it's in play. So there may be some play with that. And then there's going to be some more hero power cards. And I love hero power synergies because those are great decks to play on a podcast called Hero Power. So I like Mordash. I think he's very strong. A few content creators and podcasters have said that they think this is a card that could need a nerf. And Ridiculous Hat pointed out that it's a legendary, and it's obviously a mechanic they want to be this way, the 10-10-10 synergies and kind of the way it's designed, that if something crazy comes out of this card, Ridiculous Hat believes they will nerf the activators, not this card itself. Yeah. And I couldn't agree with him more. There may be some other cards that will make this really powerful, and then you might need to nerf those cards. If you can find a way to get this to stick so you can Potional Illusion it, that's going to be nuts. Could you imagine this card in the Turtle Mage era?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been awful to have this dropping at 1 mana.
Yeah, if you found a way to get the Potion Illusion off, it's in place somehow. It's needless to say, this is going to be obviously it has a lot of boxes you have to check before you're doing the 10 damage. You have to do 10 full damage with your hero power. Without any augmentation, is investing 20 mana in the hero power.
Yep.
Because it's 2 mana for 1 damage. Now, obviously, there's going to be some other cards that are coming out that we'll talk about that might change that math a bit. But essentially, this is 30 mana worth of value in one card.
Yeah.
30 mana worth of investment in one card. You have to invest 30 mana's worth. 20 mana for the hero powers, and then 10 mana for the card. Uh, Obviously, there's going to be things that reduce that total investment. Whether it's going to be a viable deck, we'll have to see, but I hope it is.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have another mage minion. It's also a legendary Varden Dawngrasp. Now, they are a 4 mana 3/3 battle cry. Freeze all enemy minions. If any are already frozen, deal 4 damage to them instead. This is Frost Nova on a stick.
Yeah. And if you've already frozen them, it turns into an old school. Oh my, Flame Strike.
Yeah. Old school Flame
So
Strike. Yeah.
yeah. Now one thing, and you'll notice that Avanties made sure to inflect it very strongly. This card, this legendary card, is specifically the first card that is has a non-binary character on it, and I can't be more proud to play a game made by a company that has so much inclusivity that they make sure to make everybody feel connected to the game in one way or another. So obviously there are going to be people that play this game that have different beliefs and different gender identifications and things like that. I love that somebody who falls under the non-binary category can associate with this character and feel like they are represented in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And as a father to a daughter who's in the LGBTQ community, who has dated and is still continuing to date non-binary people, and her sexuality is very inclusive. It makes me proud to be able to represent this game to my daughter.
Yeah.
And all I gotta say about that in itself, aside from the card's value, is Team 5, thank you.
Yeah.
As a father to somebody, and this kind of knowledge wasn't very open to me, and it was something I had to educate myself on,
mm-hmm.
especially when my daughter was growing up and she came open and came out. It jokes me up a little bit talking about it, but I was one of those ignorant fathers that did not know anything about this, and I just happened to open my mind up, and I made mistakes and said things I shouldn't have, and was corrected and learned from my mistakes. And I appreciate that a game development team puts that kind of love and care into their product.
Yeah. And I just think this card's going to be in every mage deck.
Oh yeah, I mean,
4 mana,
aside from
3/3, freeze the board. But if they're already frozen, blow up the board. This card is just good.
And now we see why Frost Nova was rotated to Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Moving on to Mage Rare. We have one so far, and that is a Reckless Apprentice. So this is a 4 mana, 3/5 battle cry. Fire your hero power at all enemies.
Yeah, and if your opponent's playing a very small minion aggressive style, and say they're playing Token Druid, and they develop a bunch of 1/1s, maybe even 1/2s on the board, you're going to hit all of those minions with 1 damage, including the enemy's face.
Yep.
And all of that damage is going to count towards the prerequisite to play Mordresh Fire Eye.
Yeah.
So if your opponent does play an aggressive strategy, they're playing right into your late game strategy.
That's right.
And if you can pair this up with something that increases the damage from your hero power, that's even more of a board clear.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Let's let Zerotio have his 15 minutes here. Paladin Legendaries.
I'm going to turn this into 30 minutes. You know it.
First up, we have Cannon Master Smythe. He's a 5 mana 4/4 battle cry. Transform your secrets into 3/3 soldiers, they transform back to secrets when they die.
So you read the card wrong.
Okay.
This is Cannon Master Smith.
Okay.
Because if you know anything about the World of Warcraft, there are two characters in there. They work together, and they are Smith and Wesson.
Okay. I was not familiar with those two characters.
And see, I everybody's been calling this Smythe, and again, he beat me to the punch. Ridiculous Hat pointed this out, and he is 100% correct. So Cannon Master Smith. This is neat, and it's a very interesting mechanic that we haven't seen before. This set is introducing a lot of game mechanics that have changed the engineering of Hearthstone, so that the coding and the back end work differently than anything else. Which I like to see mechanics like that, because that means the engineering department is making changes to the client fluidly. Which means if we ever need like a new client overhaul, that's something I believe they can do, because they're obviously doing these small little adjustments. The thing that's interesting in this is your secrets are removed from your portrait. They become 3/3 minions, and they will have the little spell tag on the bottom like a buff. If your opponent looks at it, it will tell them that they have a death rattle, that they will become secrets again when they die. If you look at it, it will tell you which secret it is. So you don't have to, you're not in a blind when trading, because maybe you want one secret over the other, or you don't want to proc this secret yet, so you want to trade in a specific order. So you as the player, the Paladin player, will be able to see which secret each of the 3/3s will turn into when they die.
Yes.
And I love that mechanic. I hope they do stuff like that where it looks different to your opponent than it does to you. Normally the flags on the bottom, for the most part, there's been a couple cards that are outliers, don't really tell different information based on you or your opponent. So I like this card. Will Secret Paladin be a thing? I don't think so. However, I think Holy Paladin will be a thing, and it will include secrets. And if that's the case, Cannon Master Smith probably goes in that deck.
Okay. The other Paladin, the other Paladin legendary is Cariel Rome. It's 4 mana, 4/3, Rush, Divine Shield. Whenever this attacks, reduce the cost of holy spells in your hand. So this reminds me
by
of...
one.
Yeah, reduce the cost of spells in your hand by 1. This reminds me of what was the warrior legendary that would add an attack on your weapon when it attacks? Dr. Krastenov.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Dr. This reminds me of a version of Dr. Krastenov, but instead of adding attacks to your weapon, it reduces the cost of holy spells in your hand by 1.
Yeah, which may be even stronger, because all of the Libram spells, obviously not including the weapon, are holy spells.
Yeah.
And a few of the secrets are holy spells. No, I think Noble Sacrifice that I know of is not. I don't know about Yogg. Praise Yogg. I'm guessing it's probably holy, but I don't know. But a lot of the secrets are going to be holy spells, and if that's the case, then they will immediately be 0 cost, which then means playing those secrets alongside something like Cannon Master Smith won't have any additional mana investment. You could play this on 4, trade into a minion, it stays on the board, so they have to deal with it because it has Divine Shield. Right. And if they don't deal with it, then it could attack next turn and reduce even more. And then on the next turn, you could play Cannon Master Smith. Cannon Master Smith, and then have a bunch of 0 cost.
I just want to point out, for the people who are not watching the video, it's spelled Smythe, which is pronounced Smythe.
They say Smith. See, and I bleed into you every now and then, because a lot of people most people don't know this. In high school, a lot of the teachers thought you and I shared a brain. So whenever one of us wouldn't do something right, they would blame the other one for having the brain that
Yeah.
period or that afternoon.
Yeah.
So
All right. Yes, you can use Cariel to reduce the costs of Holy Secrets, and then play Smith, and then play your secrets, and boom. So,
yeah, and
or
you could
play
you could
Cariel, play your secrets, then play Smith. Yeah.
play Cariel, play your secrets, trade, play more secrets, play more spells, and bring her back somehow. And you know, who said Rome couldn't be built in a turn?
Oh.
That was
Oh.
bad. That was a reach too.
Oh.
All
Oh.
right, next
Okay.
epics.
Moving on to epics. We have
ridiculous hat somewhere just is
groaning.
is
Yeah.
clapping. No, he's
Next
clapping.
up, we have Veteran War Medic. She's a 4-mana 3/5. After you cast a holy spell, summon a 2/2 medic with life steal.
Yeah, so the 2/2 medics are just 2/2s with life steal. I would like to have seen them either have taunt or something else, but I guess life steal is good enough, because at that point, if you fill your board up with life steal minions and then your opponent says, okay, I was setting up like a 2-turn lethal where I would just go face and they had to deal with what I had or they died.
Yeah.
Now they have to think, oh, now I have all these lifesteal minions, so I need to get rid of the lifesteal minions. And they might have to trade into them, healing you. And then if after they invest getting rid of the lifesteal minions, they might still have to get rid of Veteran War Medic, or you're going to make more lifesteal minions. Also, you could play some possibly free or 1-mana holy spells, and get a bunch of 2/2 medics, and then have agency for the following turn. And I really like the way. Then what I was going to say, you can follow it up with a enemy broomstick, trade in those lifesteal minions, and you just keep going. This works also really well with Libram of Wisdom, because you can play Libram of Wisdom on a minion, which summons a 2/2, trade that minion in, get the Libram of Wisdom back to your hand, play Libram of Wisdom on another minion, which summons another 2/2, and you just kind of keep chaining that. I really like this kind of board floody style, and not just big minion style, one big minion that you've invested a lot of mana into. It's definitely different than Libram Paladin plays now, but I think the Librams can play with it. Obviously, we're going to be losing the pure mechanic, the no neutral mechanic, whichever one you want to call it. I think the only card that's going to be in standard with that is going to be Uriel. She'll be the only one left.
Okay.
All the other, the Zealot and Crusader, they're rotating out.
All right. The next epic we have is a holy spell, Conviction, 1 mana, give a random friendly minion +3 attack. How does that look when it upgrades?
It goes from a random friendly minion to 2 random friendly minions at rank 2, and 3 random friendly minions at rank 3.
Okay, so it stays +3 attack. It just adds an additional minion each time you rank it up.
So essentially, this is a 1-mana Savage Roar.
Actually,
Kinda.
it could be a 0 mana.
Which is 0 mana.
Yeah, could be a 0 mana Savage Roar with Cariel.
Or Bloodlust, or whichever way you want to say. I guess it'd be more like Bloodlust. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of token generation, 2/2 minions. Obviously, we have the Silverhand Recruit synergies, where you just kind of fill up the board quite a bit, and your opponent's going to have to go, hey, they've got a bunch of 1/1s on the board. Can I deal with that a turn, or do I need to worry about Conviction? Obviously, It's not as threatening before turn 5, but on turn 5, that's 6 damage worth of attack in 1 mana. And if you happen to be at turn 10, that is 9 damage worth of attack in 1 mana. So, yeah, this is, and it's a holy spell.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Lots of holy synergy. I'm really excited to play Paladin. I know I say that every set, but along with Librams, along with this holy mechanic, I really think Paladin's gonna stay strong in the meta once the rotation hits. Which usually, when rotations hit, Paladins tend to be a 6-set meta kind of class. They do the most power when there's 6 sets in the meta, and this is the first time I feel strong that Paladin may be good in a 4-set meta.
Okay. Then we have a Paladin common. It's a holy spell, 4 mana, invigorating sermon. Give +1/+1 to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. So, this is one of those cards that you can play it at any time and buff everything, and the buffs stick. So,
yeah, the only thing I worry about with this card is obviously the 4 mana cost, which can be reduced. But in the deck that reduces the cost of this from 4 mana, you're playing a lot of spells, so your deck's not going to have a lot of minions in it anyways.
Right.
Now, you might have a lot of minions on the battlefield because you're generating Silverhand Recruits and 2/2 medics and that. So I think people are reading this and think, oh, I'm going to buff my entire deck. Yeah, but how many minions are you actually going to have in the deck?
Right.
They're thinking this is kind of like a Keleseth, but in a spell that you can put 2 copies in and not have a deck restriction. Well, yes, the deck restriction is you can't have a lot of spells in your deck. You need to primarily have minions in your deck to do it that way. However, if you play it in the holy style and you look at this more as give +1/+1 to all minions on the battlefield, and it can get reduced down to maybe 2 or 1 mana, then maybe this is the way to play it. Still do it in a spell-heavy deck with lots of holy spells, but more focus on adjusting what's on the board and not really worried about the hand buff and deck. And if you build your deck that way, I think this could be successful.
Okay. Moving on to Priest. So far, we only have 1 legendary in Priest, and that is Zyrella. That's how I'm assuming that's pronounced.
That's how I pronounce it.
Okay, so she's a 4 mana 4/4 battle cry. If you've restored health this turn, deal that much damage to all enemy minions. So let's just say she's 4 mana. You combine that. Is Holy Nova remaining in Standard?
I don't remember. I can find out very fast.
I'm just saying that's 2 damage to all enemies. You gain 2, and then she would deal another 2 damage to all enemies.
No.
Okay.
She wouldn't. Oh no, yeah, because it just restores 2 health to your face.
To your
So,
hero. Yeah.
Holy Nova is in the core set, and it's still 4 mana, and is a holy spell. Yes.
Okay. So there you go.
Even just on turn 6, play this and hero power your face. You're going to do 2 damage to the
everything.
force.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of ways to heal in Priest. This is good.
Yeah, it is. All right, Epic Priest. We have a holy spell, Condemn, 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. How does this upgrade, Zerotio?
Condemn changes to deal 2 damage and then deal 3 damage.
Okay, so the amount of damage goes up 1 point per rank. And again, it's a holy spell. So, and then we have Priest of Anshi, It's a 5 mana, 5/5 epic minion. Taunt with Battle Cry. If you've restored health this turn, gain +3/+3.
Yeah,
So,
we've seen stuff like this, and restored health does not mean it has to be your health.
no, it could
It
be
could
on
be
anything.
on a minion. On it can even be on your opponent's face if you want to,
Yeah.
as long as you've restored it. So, um, yeah, I think I don't know if Priest has room for this. It's a good card, but I just don't think it plays into what Priest wants to do.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to rare. We have a priest elemental minion, the Light Shower Elemental. It's a 6 mana, 6/6 taunt, death rattle, restore 8 health to all friendly characters.
So you thought Res Priest was going to be gone. It's not, because this is going to be in that deck, and it's going to run N'Zoth.
Yes.
And
And
then you're never going to be able to kill your opponent because they're constantly bringing back these light shower elementals, which, if there was going to be a joke about crafting this in golden, but I'm not going there.
I was gonna say we're gonna leave that for Blizzlet.
We'll leave that for Blizzlet.
That is totally right up there. I was gonna say, I was gonna make a joke about this being R. Kelly's favorite card, but you know,
yeah. But the healing that this has in a death rattle behind the taunt, which means they're gonna have to fight through this, heal the entire board, which means you can make value trades, and then if they have to trade through the light shower elemental, then those minions you value traded then get healed most likely to full,
yeah,
including your face. So I think in a N'Zoth shell, this is the elemental you put in there, and it's going to do work.
All right.
It's weird to see a minion-based strategy. I mean, they've had Res Priest before, and Res Priest is going away, but this is going to be another Res Priest.
Yeah. All right, so then we have a common holy spell, Desperate Prayer, 0 mana, restore 5 health to each hero. Yeah, so can we talk about comboing this with Xyrella?
Obviously, Xyrella is a good spot for this, but so first off, the value is the fact that it's 0 mana. Any 0 mana spells can break classes like Priest. So they're still going to have Nazmani, Bloodweaver in the meta. I think the Sethic Veilweaver's rotating. I can't remember that. I don't think it's going to be in the set anymore. But regardless, the 0 mana is one thing. Secondly, if there is some kind of combo centric priest, or say a N'Zoth priest, where you're just going to want to flood the board with really big minions that are going to be hard to get rid of late game, where you're going to kind of do all your damage in one turn to win, you really aren't doing damage to your opponent, so you're probably not even caring if you're healing their face.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why that armor, the 1 mana 1/3 that gives both players 4 mana, 4 armor, that's ran in a lot of combo decks, because you don't care how much armor or health your opponent has. You're going to end up bursting them out in a 1 or 2 turn based combo anyways.
Right.
So this is kind of the same thing. If your opponent has any damage to their face, who cares if they heal? You're eventually going to win by one big burst anyways.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Rogue, we have seen one legendary minion so far, and that is
this card. This card wins the name game, by the way.
Yes.
I don't care what other cards get revealed tomorrow. This one wins the name game.
This card wins the name game, and it wins for just being a good card. We have Scab's Cutter Butter. He's a 4 mana 3/3 combo The next 2 cards you play this turn cost 3 less.
So I'm sure there's going to be like a 3-card setup that's going to be like the bane of everybody's existence, because essentially you play something and then Scab's Cutter Butter and then 2 more cards that same turn, where normally people would say Rogue has the nuts. I would say they have the Nutter Butters.
Right?
I love Nutty Buddies. I can't eat them on this diet right now. So I'm not a big Rogue fan, but this card excites me to the point that I am.
Well, I'm
wanna
thinking.
see the
I'm
animation in
already.
Golden.
I'm
I might
already
wanna crack
thinking
the
of
Golden.
ways to play Cutter Butter, then play a card, bounce Cutter Butter back to your hand,
Oh,
play him again at a reduced cost. The next
Well,
2
you
cards
wanna
are
play
also
the other 2
reduced.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's some
I see where you're
crazy. I
going.
think there's some crazy stuff you can do with Scab's Cutter Butter, and I'm just looking for more ways to be able to say Scab's Cutter Butter.
Well, the thing with Scab's Cutter Butter is you're going to have hand size issues, so you're going to want a lot of things to draw Scab's Cutter Butter or draw cards to use with Scab's Cutter
Yeah.
Butter. But all in all, Scab's Cutter Butter is going to be a strong card in the meta. And I love that Scab's Cutter Butter is a bald gnome holding
2
I
daggers.
think those are supposed to be knives, but I think they might just be thumbtacks. But he's just so small that
Yeah.
he uses them as daggers.
So yeah,
But yeah,
Scab's Cutter Butter.
Scab's
Love it.
Cutter Butter is this card, Scab's Cutter Butter, is why Edwin is not in standard.
That is very true.
So Wild is going to put this in Rogue with a nerf reverted
Edwin. Yeah.
and any card, Scab's Cutter Butter, Edwin, eventually ending in Edwin is going to be
Ridiculous.
It's because you play something, or you kind of preempt it, then you Scab's Cutter Butter, then you play a card, then you play a card, then you Shadow Step, then you Scab's Cutter Butter, then you play a card, then you play Edwin.
Yep.
Again, Magic Sunshine World, and if you have all those cards, you have the Scab's Nutter Butter.
That's right. All right, moving on to epic rogue cards. We have an epic spell, Yoink. 1 mana, discover a hero power, set its cost to 0, swap back after 2 uses.
So when I first read this, I read it wrong, and I didn't think it was all that strong. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, you get a 0 cost hero power, then you got to spend 2 on it. But then I read it again and realized it sets the cost to 0, meaning you get 2 uses
at 0.
Yes.
Yes.
So essentially, this is 4 mana's worth of value in 1 mana. Could be 2 mana's worth of value if you choose the Demon
And it
Hunter
depends
hero.
on the hero power you get, too.
Now, it has been confirmed there are 10 hero powers in the Discover pool, and 1 hero power will not be in the pool based on what class you are. So
Okay.
if you are a rogue and you have the rogue hero power active, the base hero
will
power
not give you the
will only
rogue
get
hero power.
9. Now, if you're a rogue and you have a different hero power, like you've played a hero card or you've done something to change your hero power to a non-basic hero power,
Let's say you've
then all
played
10 will
Yoink.
be in.
Let's say you've played Yoink, and then you get a second Yoink.
Ooh. So if you play Yoink and you get a second Yoink,
Right, so
Then
so
you
you
play
play
that
Yoink,
Yoink,
and you say you pick
and
the
you'll get the
warrior
other-
hero power.
you'll
If
get
you
the other
play
power.
Yoink again before using the hero power 2 times, will the warrior hero power be in the pool the second time?
yes. Oh, the second time, no, because you're currently
That's
hero
what I'm
power.
getting at. Yeah.
So it won't. It will not include whatever hero power you are. Now, if whatever hero power you are is not in the pool of 10, then all 10 will be in the pool. So you could essentially get the Rogue Hero Power again if you didn't currently have the Rogue Hero Power and it wasn't a basic Hero Power.
Right.
So there was that Demon Hunter spell, I forget the name of it, that changed your Hero Power, and I ran through the scenarios. What if you played it while you still had it? Does that mean when it reverts back to that changed hero power, which means you could permanently make that hero power, which would be hard to do with a legendary card.
Right.
I had it confirmed, no, it changes back to what it was originally. So if you yoink into the warrior hero power, then you yoink again into another hero power, you will go back to the rogue hero power.
Correct. Yes.
Not the warrior hero power you were.
Right.
At least if that other description that was corrected by Dean Ayala on Twitter, to me specifically, is accurate. That's how that will work.
Okay.
That being said, I don't know if Rogue needs this card. I don't know a world where you want to change your hero power. I don't think it's good, other than maybe a combo activator. So, yeah.
Okay.
I like flavor, though.
Yeah. Next up, we have a rogue epic weapon, the Swine Tusk Shank. 3 mana, 2/2. After you play a poison, gain +1 durability.
So I'm guessing this is the spells that have poison in the name, which so far we've only seen one.
Okay.
Because I don't see it bolded like a keyword.
Okay.
Originally, when I saw this card, I thought it was if you played like a poison minion, a minion that had the keyword poison on it. Is that poison or is that venomous? I forget.
Venomous, I think. I don't know, though.
You can tell how much rogue I play.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm doing a quick job of looking up. I'm guessing that it is... it's poisonous.
Okay.
So the keyword is poisonous. It is not the keyword, which is what I originally thought. And
right.
I thought,
so this is a poison. That's what throws me off. Is this is when you play a poison. So are there specific poison cards?
There are specific poison cards. So far, we've only seen one in the new set, which is going to be on the next slide. So if we want to work that way,
so let's go ahead and talk about that. So it's a rare nature spell for 1 mana called Paralytic Poison. Give your weapon +1 attack, and your hero is immune while attacking. So this is a specific poison. So that tells me that we could see more of these poison spells in this expansion or future expansions.
Okay, so I looked up in standard in the class rogue, and I looked up just the word poison, and obviously we see paralytic poison, which we'll talk about that. You just read the card. Your hero is immune while attacking. That's a very interesting mechanic to have. But obviously, when your durability runs out, it's going to run out. Now, Kingsbane, however, that means it stays on Kingsbane. So in Wild, this card is going to be nuts.
Oh, yeah.
This card is going to be crazy. So, because it's going to keep that buff constantly.
Yeah.
So whenever you have Kingsbane. Secondly, I looked at poison. Deadly Poison is still in the core set.
Okay.
It's a nature spell.
Deadly Poison works, yeah.
And Nitro Boost Poison.
I forgot about Nitro Boost. That's okay.
So we have Deadly Poison, Paralytic Poison,
and
Nitro Boost Poison are the only 3 as of now. Now, we haven't seen all the cards. We'll see some more tomorrow. Today, if you're listening on the download. So we may have some more poisons. And so far, all the poisons are 1-mana spells. I don't know if that is a theme they're going to stay with, but we'll see. So Swine Tusk Shank, knowing that, is a really good weapon. After you play a poison, gain 1 durability, and paralytic poison
Makes you
makes
immune
it so
while
you're immune when you
attacking.
attack. So when you play the paralytic poison, it's going to go up to a 2/3, well, a 3/3 weapon
Right,
because
because paralytic
it
gives it
gains a
+1.
durability.
Yep.
And then if you play deadly poison, it gets another durability. So as the durability stack from these poisons, you're getting even more value from the paralytic poison. So knowing those 2 cards together, I think I had a really low value for paralytic poison in standard, but now it's raised by at least a point.
Yeah.
And obviously in wild, it's a 5. You put it in that deck.
Yeah.
It probably needs a nerf in wild.
All right, so next we're going to talk about a rogue rare minion, Oil Rig Ambusher. It's a 4-mana 4/4 battle cry, deal 2 damage. If this entered your hand this turn, deal 4 damage instead. So if you play it the turn you draw it, it deals 4 damage. If you wait and play it any other time, it deals 2 damage.
Yeah. Did you notice a card that got taken out of core set?
No, what's that?
Eviscerate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
And
this
Eviscerate was 2 damage, combo 4 damage.
Yeah.
So
combo
this
4
is
damage.
basically the Eviscerate chain. I mean, obviously the mana's more expensive, but it comes with the 4/4 body.
Right.
And this works really well with Secret Passage.
Eviscerate on a stick.
So if you Secret Passage into Oil Rig Ambusher, noticed it said if you drew it this turn because Secret Passage.
It doesn't say draw. It says enter your hand.
Exactly. Notice it doesn't say draw.
Yeah.
Because Secret Passage doesn't draw the 4 cards.
It enters them into your hand.
Enters them into your hand. So I think the wording is specifically done to make sure it works with Secret Passage. And that being said, this is going to be a very strong damage combo finisher along with your weapon damage and a weapon rogue. Yeah, this is good. A lot of times with Eviscerate, you were trying to find off Secret Passage late game anyways and weren't even using all your mana. So this works out perfect.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Shaman, and we start with Shaman Legendary Firemancer Flurgle. It's a 2-mana 2/3 Murloc. After you play a Murloc, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Here we go with Murloc Shaman again.
Yeah, doesn't this sound familiar though?
Okay.
Like Altruis? And didn't Altruis get nerfed?
Altruis, yeah. Altruis was, if you guys don't remember, it was deal 1 damage when you play a card from the left
Outcast.
or right. Yeah, Outcast.
Oh, yeah, I think Outcast. Whenever you outcast a card, or when you play from left or right, from the outcast position, you did 1 damage to all enemies.
Yeah.
Which includes face.
That's correct.
Yeah. So if you have cards, we haven't seen all the Shaman yet, but if there are things that are generating Murlocs into your hand and they're low cost, maybe cost reduced, and you can immediately play them, this damage can rack up and be board clears.
That's true. That's very, very true. All right, moving on. We have a rare shaman spell, Nothing Can Stop Us. 3 mana, give your minions +1/+1. Give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1.
So essentially, your Murlocs all get +2/+2.
That is correct.
And again, Bloodlust was rotated out.
That is
this
correct.
kind of a supplement. I'd say replacement because it's in a set, so it's going to rotate. It's a supplement for Bloodlust while also trying to push the Murloc synergies, which they've been trying to push Murloc synergies, but not always giving us enough tools. And between Flurgle and this card, I don't think it's quite enough. But let's see what other shamans come in either the neutral category which I don't think there are any in this review. But we'll see what comes out tomorrow.
I also want to point out that this was the card revealed by Blister Guy and his
Yes.
daughter, and the video was phenomenal. So if you've not watched it, go to Blister Guy on Twitter and check out his video he made for this. It was fantastic.
You know, Blister Guy has a lot of fans because he's a very key part of the content creation community, and he's just a gem to have. He's just a ray of sunshine. But I do believe that Blister Guy's daughter has more fans than him, which is saying a lot because you almost don't know about Blister Guy's daughter unless you know Blister Guy. So take what you will from that. She is she's absolutely. I love the episodes where she guests, and she's an absolute gem. She's such a sweetheart. He's doing a great job in instilling great values in her. And congratulations to Blister Guy, who him and his wife just had their second child. So Blister Girl is now a big sister. So congratulations, and I'm sure we're going to see great content from the second offspring of Blister Guy in the future.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have a Warlock Legendary, Tasman Rome. Wow. We've seen that name before.
Sisters.
Yeah. So, Warlock Legendary, Tasman Rome, 3 mana, 1/3. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0.
So I love Tamsin, and I love the story, the narrative they're saying between these two sisters, one going the path of Holy and one going the path of Shadow.
Yes.
This is a really dynamic story. I don't know enough about Warcraft lore to know if they're in the story. I think these are Hearthstone cards that are being introduced into the World of Warcraft world.
Okay.
And they do have similar, if you notice, they have similar mechanics where Cariel reduces the cost of holy spells. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, she gets another copy of it.
That costs 0.
A shadow spell that costs 0. So it's a reduction in a way. It's more of a second copy, but it's similar powers. So I like how they've made the sisters kind of similar in a way, but also different.
I like this
beyond
card
the power of the card, and you're a Warlock main, so you would definitely love this card. Beyond the power of the card, I love the storytelling that's going into Hearthstone.
Yeah,
they're doing such a good job.
I agree. All right, moving on, we have 2 Warlock rares. Bloodshard Bristleback. It's a 3 mana, 3/3 lifesteal. Battle Cry. If your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion.
I remember somebody saying, and I think it was in our Discord, why would you ever play Ticketus without corrupting it? So this card could go in a Ticketus style war, or Ticketus could go in a deck with Bloodshard Bristleback, and it gives you that flexibility of destroying your opponent's stuff, or if you're kind of getting the run of them and going aggressive, just destroying a big chunk of your deck to activate Bloodshard Bristleback to do some finishing damage. Obviously, it's damage to a minion, so there's only so much power you can do in that.
Yeah,
but it's still good. A 3 mana 3/3 with lifesteal is good. A 3 mana 3/3 with lifesteal late game, if you draw it late and your deck's almost gone, that then also that clears a minion and heals you for 6.
Yeah,
is even better.
Yeah, and what's a good way to empty your deck? Well, we have a rare shadow spell called Soul Rend. 4 mana, deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each minion killed. And of course, if you play this with Tamsin, you're going to get a zero cost copy of this card right back into your hand that could deal another 5 damage. So if your opponent
Wow.
has some big minions on the board, you could play this for 4, get the zero cost copy, and then play it again. So
Can you? Because it says, well, Tamsin says whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more.
yeah.
So I guess it would happen when you cast it, because
Yeah,
it's
so
going to destroy Tamsin.
when you cast this, it's
So
gonna
it doesn't say after.
Tamsin's gonna put a copy of the spell into your hand. Then this spell's gonna resolve, dealing 5 damage to
Gotcha.
all minions,
Okay.
killing her, and destroying a card in your deck because you killed her. And then you play this again, killing off whatever else is left.
And just to clarify that interpretation, that's because it says whenever and not after, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because sometimes, I mean, you and I are old Magic the Gathering heads, so we're used to interpreting the card and having to decide a ruling. And we've kind of lost that a little bit with Hearthstone because it does it for us.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's good to note the whenever denoter on Tamsin, which, that makes that card even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we have a Grimoire of Sacrifice. This is a common Warlock spell, shadow spell. 1 mana, destroy a friendly minion, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So again, this is a 1 or more shadow spell that you could get another copy from Tamsin. I love that card. I think this is going to be so much fun.
Is that day 1 craft for you, Tamsin?
If I don't pull it, I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so honestly, I'm probably not going to craft anything immediately because of the additional packs and additional legendaries that we will get along the rewards track.
Yes. Also, one thing to note, and if you have done it, I know some people haven't, I've saved I think it was my Paladin, my Priest, and my Warrior, and I think even my Rogue packs. I'm going to open them first.
I have all of those as well. And
I'm going to open them first and then open my packs for Barrens.
Yes.
Fours and the Barrens.
To see if I get any of the new legendaries out of those class packs.
Yeah, because if I look at missing in those class packs, a lot of them I'm not missing anything, so I'm only going to get new cards out of them.
Yeah.
This Grimoire, I do notice now why Tamsin says costs 1 or more. It's because so she can't just continue chain with the 3 ones she gets.
That's correct.
Because I was thinking, what zero cost is out there? But it's not that it costs 0; it's that she gives you a 0. So that makes sense.
Zero, yeah, and so you don't have
that makes more sense to me now.
Chain going, yeah. All right. Moving on to Warrior, and we have 2 Warrior legendaries. First up is Rakara. She's a 3 mana 2/3 rush. After a friendly minion attacks and survives, give it +1/+1.
So she basically gives every friendly minion a frenzy of +1/+1.
Remind everybody. Frenzy's a new ability.
Frenzy is when it takes damage and doesn't die. It gets the frenzy ability once. Now, mind you, this can happen more than once, and it's only attack damage. So if it's an attack and survive. Now, it doesn't have to take damage. So if it has, say, Divine Shield for some reason, or in a way that it doesn't die or doesn't take damage when it attacks, as long as it attacks and is not dead at the end of that attack, it will still get the +1/+1.
Correct.
So that is interesting. And it's a rush minion. There's a lot of rush synergies in Warrior from last year and in Year of the Phoenix. So we'll have to see how this pairs up with a lot of the... I think Scholomance had a lot of really good rush cards. Obviously, this also couples well with Animated Broomstick. You play a bunch of minions along with this 3-cost minion, toss an Animated Broomstick, they all attack, they get buffs, and then she can finish up an attack. After a friendly minion attacks and survives damage. So she can also get +1/+1.
Yes.
Because it doesn't say another or other friendly minion. So if she attacks and doesn't die, she gets +1/+1 as well, right? Am I reading that right?
Honestly, I don't know right off the top of my hand. Right
Because
off the top of my
she is
head,
a
I don't
friendly
know.
minion.
I mean,
She would be
I would
considered a friendly minion.
assume it basically what she does is she makes you sit down and think about the order you want your minions to attack. You know,
Yes.
you're going to be like, okay, this has 3 health. I want to kill a 2/2, or this has 4 health. I want to kill a 1/1 or a 2/2 or a 3/3. So you want to look and see how you're going to be able to maximize your damage against the enemy's
Yeah.
board just to get those +1/+1 buffs.
So in a lot of other sets, you see 2 legendaries in the class. And not all the classes we've seen both are legendaries, but in the few we have seen, they don't necessarily work in the same decks. And I think this one and the next one may work well together.
Yes,
and not
and
necessarily in the same turn,
I just
but
want to
in the same
say
deck.
this next card is my absolutely favorite character in all of Warcraft lore.
So this is my favorite Horde character in all Warcraft lore.
So we have Warrior Legendary Overlord Sourfang. Finally. He's a 7-mana 5/4 battle cry. Resurrect 2 friendly frenzy minions. Deal 1 damage to all other minions.
So it's going to resurrect 2 frenzy minions, which means those are 2 friendly frenzy minions that have died this game. And then it's going to do the 1 damage to all of the minions, including those frenzy minions you just resurrected.
Yes.
So their frenzy is going to go off.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is strong. One thing that makes me really excited is the name. It's Overlord Sourfang, and anytime they've prefaced it with a title, that means they've either considered or are working on other versions of this card with other names. And I really hope we see more Sourfang, because he is my favorite Horde character. I do have other Warcraft characters I like better on the Alliance side, but when it comes to the Horde, Sourfang is the best character in existence, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We do have a Warrior Epic, the Morshon Elite. He's a 5-mana 4/4 taunt battle cry. If your hero attack this turn, summon a copy of this.
So this is right in curve with Sword Eater. So you Sword Eater on 4, which is the 4-mana. Is it a?
It's a
2/5?
It's a 2/6.
2/6. That's right. 2/6 taunt that gives you a 3/2 weapon, basically a Fiery War Axe. Then the next turn on turn 5, you can attack with that weapon, and then play Morshon Elite and get
2
4/4 taunts.
Yes.
And that is building a taunt package. If you continue that, they've been trying to push Warrior towards a taunt warrior for a while. And we did play a variation of a taunt warrior, and it was pretty good. It wasn't quite tier 1, but it was good. It got me quite a few wins on the ladder, and even in Legend. But I think this is fleshing out the taunt synergies that they gave us last year, and I think taunt warrior might be a thing. Maybe not tier 1 still, but it's still going to be playable.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we have a Warrior Rare card, Warsong Envoy. It's a 1-mana 1/3 Frenzy. Gain +1 attack for each damaged character.
So damaged character, which means also your face and your opponent's face.
Uh-huh.
Also, if Overlord Sourfang resurrects this, it will get +1 for itself. The other minion that Sourfang resurrects, Sourfang doesn't damage himself, but also your face or any other minions that are on the board, including your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So it could get pretty big, but it's also kind of like that wasp. So you'll have a big attack with most likely 2 health because it's been frenzied. So who knows if this can ever do its damage. I think it's a good 1-mana minion to play on 1 that your opponent's going to have to deal with, but later in the game it might not have that much value.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to neutrals. So we have 2 neutral legendaries so far.
We haven't seen a lot of neutral cards yet. And so far, usually when I see neutrals on reveals, there's a lot of filler. And we haven't seen a lot of the cards because the reveal hasn't happened yet. That happens on Monday, the 22nd, which is today if you listen on download. But so far with the cards in this neutral set, there's a lot of really good flexibility with making decks in multiple classes that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. So, first up, we have the return of the great Kazakus. He is now the Golem Shaper. So, if you guys remembered the original Kazakus, he allowed you to build a spell. Well, this Kazakus is a 4-mana 3/3 battle cry. If your deck has no 4-cost cards, build a custom golem. Now, from what I've seen so far, it's going to be very similar, right? You're going to choose a 1-mana, 5-mana, 10-mana.
So the old Kazakus, you picked 1-mana, 5-mana, 10-mana as your first discover. Your second discover was from a pool of various poisons or potions. I'm sorry, not poisons, potions. You have different themed potions. Like Grimm's Blood and Life Bloom and things like that. And then the second one was from another series. Now, this is very similar where you pick a 1, which is, it's a 1-cost, I think it's a 1-mana 1/1, a 5-mana 5/5, or a 10-mana 10/10 golem. And then you get 2 more discovers from the various potions listed before that give you different effects. Some are like give you a battle cry or draw 2 cards. Some might give it taunt. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out. It sounds like one pool is going to involve mainly keywords, and then the other pool might be like text, kind of like what you did with Rexar.
Okay.
Where the first pool, you built a beast where the first pool was beasts that had just keywords like taunt, lifesteal, rush, and then the second one was from a pool of beasts that had text like death rattles or battle cries or things like that. So I suspect that's what's going to happen is the first pool will be keywords. Second pool will be effects that are more than keywords. So that might be battle cries or death rattles or maybe even static effects, but text that's on the card.
All right.
We haven't been given a full list. Somebody asked for a full list on Twitter, and I think it was either Ixar or Celestalon. I think it might have been Celestalon. Basically gave all the different potion names, but none of the actual effects.
So I almost guarantee you we will see this card played during the live stream. So,
I think we will. Yeah. I mean, they usually like to... I mean, Chalky's making these decks, and Chalky is an amazing deck builder.
Yes. So, all right. Next up, we have Kargal Battlescar. Kargal Battlescar. He's a 7-mana 5/5 battle cry. Summon a 5/5 lookout for each watch post you've summoned this game. So let's jump ahead and talk about the watch posts. So there's a couple.
The first one.
Yeah, the first watch post is an epic minion, 4-mana 4/6, can't attack. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, give your minions +1/+1.
So all the watch posts have the same thing in common. They're statted minions that can't attack, but they have some form of static effect. Now they don't. So far, they don't have taunt, so your opponents can attack around them all they want. However, they have effects on them that your opponents are going to want to get rid of.
Yes.
So essentially, you're going to put a few of these watch posts on the board, and you're sacrificing board space because you can't fit only but 7 minions on the board, and they can't attack. However, they're going to be really buffing you up. So your opponent has to choose, can I deal with them having limited board space but lots of more power, or do I need to clear these? And if they do clear them, then you're going to get the benefits, more of the benefits of Cargill Battle Scar, where every watch post you summon this game will give you another 5/5 minion late game. So it's kind of like a Nomi. If you ever played like Nomi Priest or any other Nomi decks, where you've exhausted your entire deck and then you just fill the board with 6/6s, that's kind of how Cargill Battle Scar is going to be, except the prerequisite is playing these crossroads, and you want, or these watch posts, you want them to die, because ultimately you need the board space for the 5/5s. But if they don't die, you're going to get the benefit of whatever's on them, and they're neutral, which means you can put them in many different decks. This is what excites me, is they put a neutral mechanic that can be played across all classes, and no matter what class you play it in, it's going to play differently.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to talk about the other watch post, or do you want to just work our way to it?
We can jump to the next slide and talk about the watch post.
Okay, so the other is the Morshan watch post. Now this is a rare minion. It's a 3 mana 3/5 can attack. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/2 grunt. So if you have both watch posts on the board, your opponent plays a minion, you're going to summon a 2/2 grunt. Then if they play a spell, you're going to give all your minions +1/+1.
Yeah, if you have both on.
If you have both watch posts, yeah.
Again, they're going to want to clear these non-attacking minions, which have attack. If they were like 0/5s,
right,
I could probably say, or 0/6s or whatever, I could probably say, they're probably not that good. But they have good attack value, which means whatever they trade into them will likely be severely damaged or destroyed. Not to mention the one watch post, the crossroads watch post, whenever an opponent casts a spell, give your minions +1/+1. That also buffs the watch posts.
Mm-hmm.
So if they play a spell, that's now a 5/7 watch post that has to find a way to clear. So yeah, I like these watch posts. I want to see more. I'm hoping there's at least a common one coming, and maybe even a legendary one.
Yeah.
For one of each rarity. I'd like to have a good solid 4 different watch posts to play around with. If these are the only 2 watch posts, they might have missed the mark, but hopefully there's at least one more watch post.
Yeah. All right, back to the neutral epics. We have Primordial Protector. It's an 8 mana 6/6 elemental. Battle cry, draw your highest cost spell. Summon a random minion with the same cost.
We've seen this type of effect before, and it's been very powerful. It also was less mana, later nerfed.
Right.
So I think this is not only a good minion to put in something that has high cost spells like Mage, but also it works with N'Zoth.
Yes.
Because it's a big-bodied elemental. It's a 6/6, which when we look at just throwing in an elemental in a deck to make N'Zoth work better, 6/6 kind of is in the bottom line of the stats we want. We don't want anything lower than that unless it has a crazy effect. But, I mean, we put the one weapon in Paladin just because it summoned a 6/6 with Taunt. That was an elemental that was brought back when N'Zoth was played. So, I think this gets played in decks that have decent costed spells. See, the thing that's great about this is not only does it give you a big minion because it draws the highest cost spell, it's targeted card draw. It draws that specific spell you made sure was the highest. Now, does that have to be a 10 cost spell? No. But if your deck relies on drawing, oh, I don't know, the Cthulhu spells, which are
Mm-hmm.
5 mana, and you make sure none of your other spells are 5 mana or above, then you will draw one of the Cthulhu spells. So this could go in a Cthulhu deck. It's very flexible. I like the design of this card because it goes in a couple different decks, depending on exactly what you want to do. You can put it in there with a big high cost spells. You can put it in there with specific spells to draw those. It's a good card. I like it, and it gives you a body.
Yeah.
2 bodies for 8 mana.
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Barrens. This is still in neutral epics. Barrens Blacksmith. It's a 5 mana 3/5 frenzy. Give your other minions +2/+2.
This is a good card. It might as well have a warrior border because I think it's most likely going to be played with Sourfang in that deck. Also, it could have a lot of value in the Watch Post deck, just because you are likely going to be generating a lot of minions through your Watch Posts, and then you're going to have some form of board clear to circumvent having minions that can attack. So you're going to want board damage, and Barrens Blacksmith is going to be perfect for that.
Okay. And last but not least, we have
Definitely
another
not least.
neutral rare, the Horde Operative. 3 mana, 3/4, battle cry, copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play.
This is probably my favorite design on a tech card I've ever seen, because it doesn't remove a threat. It makes that threat your opponent's threat.
Yeah. So I mean, you're not only is your opponent going to know what secrets you have, but now you're going to know what secrets your opponent has.
And they're going to have to, you put your opponent in the same position they put you in.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're going to have to figure out how to play around it.
They have to figure out how to play around those secrets while having full knowledge of secrets. But now you get to play around their secrets while having full knowledge of their secrets.
Yes.
Now, the question is, are secrets going to be played enough? I think in Paladin, you will include some secrets in the Holy deck. I don't think a pure Secret Paladin is going to exist. They've watered down a lot of the Hunter secrets, and I haven't seen any new Hunter secrets yet. So we don't know where secrets are going to play in Hunter, if at all. Obviously, with Lock and Load being put into the meta, they want spells to be used as secrets or spells. So maybe they add some more secrets. However, Secret Mage has been given a lot of good tools.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any additional tools in this set yet to push towards Secret Mage, but it's playable right now. It's not the best deck, but if it gets better from anything, then this will work well with anti-Secret Mage. Now, Rogue, I don't think is going to be relying on secrets much. If so, it's not going to be anything it's going to be worth playing this to counter Rogue. They've always kind of been they're a secret class whenever they decide to make them a secret class, and then after rotation, they're not a secret class anymore. So we'll have to see where Rogue sits. But that being said, with 3 classes possibly having some leaning, probably definitely 2 classes with Mage and Paladin, maybe 3 with Hunter, having some secret leanings.
Yeah.
Or Operative might be a good tech card.
Very much. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us this week. Now, as Zerotio said, we will be back next week with the remaining cards that are going to be dumped on us tomorrow or today if you're listening on the download. So we'll talk about the remaining cards in the set next week. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments about anything we talked about in this show, feel free to send us an email at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already. And if you're interested in checking out our patron-only Discord, you can find details about that over at patreon.com/heropower. And until next week,
don't forget to use your hero power to power up Mordresh Fire Eye.